What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the MTC universe. It's Modern Conversation back in here with another video. How everybody doing today?
We're good. How are you?
Swell.
Oh my gosh, you
Swell.
sound like like
That's the
guy.
dad. That's the dad coming out. I'm
no,
swell.
he sound like the little boy from the Little Rascals.
Indubitably.
Aloysius.
Smashing.
Aloysius, who was like
the man expanding his vocabulary. I
swell ain't
support that,
even.
bro.
Exquisite.
Anyway,
Wonderful. Yeah.
for the people that don't
Sensational.
know, it's your girl Ev back at it again.
Yeah, you see. It's your boy Ash. Take it easy.
How much
That's a new
takes you want? Okay.
All the takes. But you know, it's your boy Trey. And if we did it my way, we would do this every day. That's it.
Oh yeah, and you know, I'm the host today. My name is Lexton, guys.
Lex.
Tons
Ten?
of
Lexton.
Lexes.
'Cause every time, like some people, like if I go somewhere and I order something, they'd be like, "Oh, Laxton, Lexus, Dexter."
Listen,
Like no,
at least it's not ebony, because somehow
Laugh, are you
Hispanics
serious?
have the hardest time pronouncing my name. Like, I don't know what it is. Iboni, Iboni, Ebeli, Iboni.
Someone asked me my name and I say Ashton. She said, anything else? Anything else I can call you? I said, what?
From
I said,
Ashton.
that?
Do you have another
I was
name?
like, that. You could call me Ashton. She
But
said, "I
your
can't say
name
that."
is like,
Yeah.
so
I
easy.
thought it was like the most simplest name. And I was like, Ashton. And everybody's like what? So when I say like Ashton Kutcher, they be like, oh.
Ashton.
But
Ashton.
still, like she was saying, like yeah. I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. Like,
Ebony?
she Hispanic,
Or was it about to ask if
Yeah.
English was the first language?
but I mean like Ashton.
I
Don't have
mean-
your
Easy to
English
us.
doesn't have to
What's-
be your first language.
What's
Just repeat it.
easy for you to pronounce
You're right.
will not be easy for other people to pronounce. I
I'm
mean,
saying.
Ashton is like that's like two syllables. It's all right. And no, I find it even funnier because a lot of Hispanic names are so complicated.
About the whole
If
thing.
y'all if y'all experience a very random cut, it's because Trey just said something very mean and we're not gonna. So you might have just seen or heard like a random bounce from A to B, but we're gonna skip over that. How was everyone's
They
week?
rubbing off on you quick.
How was everyone's week? They're going to be seeing this on a Tuesday, but it is a Friday. Everyone's weeks are done.
I'm flabbergasted.
Okay, well, back on topic. My week was good. I found out today that I have a secret admirer in the office.
Oh,
You know, HR had to put me on the ones and twos.
1 week and my boy already moving up.
You know what I'm saying? Now
already
I just
moving
gotta spend the next week finding out who it is, so that way I know how to move forward.
okay.
Now this week was solid, man. No complaints. A lot of work done.
God is good.
Solid.
Glad for that.
God is
Same
good.
way. Was productive. Got some time in. Family time. Quality time. Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Made some
him and Ahmad did most of the cooking this week because I was just not
Learned
in the
some new
mood.
stuff.
Made
So-
some
Wasn't feeling
So
it.
it was
I
productive.
wasn't, and I'm glad I have the option to say I don't feel like cooking, and they would run to my rescue and make dinner together. However, Ahmad made
solid.
some chicken last night that slapped. And I ain't even gonna hold you. That chicken was good. But yeah, it's nice to have that option. I found out that I'm basically debt free from all my medical bills. So yeah, I wasn't too happy about it for a second. Let me explain myself.
Explain.
So I called one of the
we doing this again?
yeah, I called one of the debt collectors,
Okay.
and she was like, oh yeah, no, like that's been paid off. And I was like, what do you mean? It was for like $800 and some dollars. She was like, oh no, you were approved for Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it is. And she was like, yeah, you got it. So we sent them the bill and they paid it off. So you don't have nothing to pay here. And I was like, well, won't he do it? I called someone else. The bill was like $1,316. And I was like, yeah, I'm just calling to see if I could set up like a payment plan, because the Bible talks about debt. We shouldn't really be in debt, and we should take care of those debts.
You heard that, President?
You know what? And then the lady that answered, she was like, "Oh yeah, no, that account has been closed already. You don't owe us anything." I was like, "Miss, what are you talking about? I did not pay that." She was like, "Well, it's already been
You
paid."
have to tell them that.
I mean, I didn't say that verbatim, but she was like, "No, you don't owe us anything. The account is closed." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I felt like I should have been happy in that moment. But for some reason, I just was, I don't know if it was just
Like,
pure
no.
shock, but I was just like, wow.
Take my money.
And then I was fortunate enough to have enough money in my savings to pay off the remaining balance on another one, which was like $1,900. And my worldly brain could only think about the fact that I wanted to get my nails due tomorrow, and I can't say that I can't, because I can, but I probably shouldn't, to be like, responsible.
So
but,
she telling me the story before the show start, right? She's like, I come in and she all pouting, and I could clearly see her energy is rock bottom, right? Like in the ground, just levitating barely above surface level. She telling me the story. Oh, I got this thing tomorrow, and I was really looking forward to it. So I was like, well, how much is it? And she tell me how much it is. I was like, okay. Wait, but don't send me any money.
That's the type of person
I'll
Lex
send
is.
it back to you.
That's literally the type of person Lex is.
Yeah,
if you
bro.
tell him something, he's just like, how much it is? I bet. And then you get a notification and him sending you money for it. I don't want him to send me any money for it. I have to be an adult. It's a part of life. Like, I can't get my nails done all the time. Y'all know how long I go without getting my nails done sometimes? I just specifically wanted it done for this occasion because I'm going to be in a photo shoot.
Yeah, and
I know my hands.
So
No.
So then,
because-
what's the big problem?
Okay, it's a maternity shoot for one of my close friends. So, like, I know I'm going to have my hand on her stomach, and that's going to be a picture. And ain't nobody want to see these crusty cuticles. Like,
So I
You know
offered
what?
a solution.
no, but
I'm
I
not
don't want
gonna-
to owe you, and I don't want to take your money. You have bills and stuff. You're an adult. Gas gone
Let me see.
up.
Bro, do you see the
I mean,
insanity?
I'm not
There's
gonna lie.
artists.
I
There are
understand. I understand where Ebony is coming from,
Yeah,
though, because
it
like,
looks like a hand.
think of like in 20 years when this baby grows up and looks at the pictures and be like, "Whoa, why her fingers so crusty?"
Mommy, why didn't she get her? No, and the
you
baby
know-
can ask me because I plan on having a relationship with this baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we get that,
Shout out to Tess.
I just
I
Love
did
you.
nothing extra to my hands, and
No, but my nails,
but
my nails
I'm
are done in that
but
picture.
I'm saying if
They
it's
just look
not
like
gonna
nails.
be a big deal later on, it's not a big deal now to me.
Can
So it's
you
not a
just
big deal.
Not send me funds, please.
I respect that, but I'm just saying
There's
if it's
two
not a
levels to
big
this.
deal, then it's not a big deal.
Anyway, can we get into today's topic, please?
Yes.
Yeah, can we move?
Mr.
Anyway,
Mr. Holtzman.
the thing about it is you have to understand, it don't matter how much I go back
Okay.
and forth with
Wait, hold
myself. I'm gonna probably still go get my nails done tomorrow
Hold
because
on,
I just
though.
feel like I deserve it.
Oh, my bad. I said hold on, but we're not actually holding on anything.
Oh,
I was just saying, before we go off on another tangent, Lex, you got to introduce what we're talking about.
Yeah.
well, not really introduce it, but glide onto it.
All right.
You're right.
So
This
I was-
lemonade slop, y'all.
I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
right? Since we've been doing the whole month been about Easter and Jesus' death and resurrection and everything, I kind of want to bring it back to us now
Mm-hmm.
and talk about. With that being the case, what is our attitude kind of supposed to be like? Is it supposed to be like so victorious and like we made it through, this is it? Yeah, it's supposed to be some celebration of victory, but we also got to remember that we got to be humble too, because we didn't earn any of that.
Sit down. Be humble.
Exactly.
Sit down. Be humble. Oh, sit down. Okay, I'm glad you felt it.
Yeah, I was bumping with you.
Yeah,
He's some haters.
All right.
My dog.
We gotta sit down and be humble, guys. Yes, we have a victory. Yes, we have this path that is open to us who want to take it.
Right.
Because it's still your choice. But you gotta remember that you didn't earn any of that. you didn't just like deserve it just because, the salvation that you could acquire is because somebody cared enough to do that for you. So you gotta be humble in that.
Side note, I just touched Ashton hand and he have his ring on, but I don't have mine on.
Shame.
You want to stop the show?
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
A brief intermission.
All right, guys, comment. Shame.
So yeah, what do you guys think about our topic today, man? Sit down, be humble,
Y'all know I once start with a Bible voice.
get the Carfax.
Show me the Carfax. I feel like now, like, lovely society these days lacks humility and being humble. Everybody's so boastful and whatever. Okay, so
Bosun.
I breathed not like I was running so far. I literally went 2 steps trying to catch
Is that
my
like a
breath.
wake up call, or are we just?
You know what? Relax.
Probably.
Wow, probably. I don't like getting do like that.
That's crazy.
It's okay, man. We all get our due.
That's insane.
I bet. Okay, so what I have is 1 Peter 5 and 6. Wait, hold on. Excuse me. So humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time, he will lift you up in honor. It's 1 Peter 5, 6, New Living Translation. And that's straightforward. You be humble, God will lift you up. You be humble, God lift you up. Not you be humble, your mommy and your daddy and all your friends and social media and all this other thing lift you up. No. Their praises do not matter. At the end, I mean, kind of sort of, because we human, we just want to hear that we doing good. But ultimately, our goal should be to hear at the end of the day, well done from God. Not depart from me, I know you not, because that could hurt.
Thinking about it, I always have people talking about, oh, I so humble or whatever. They just be the loudest people in the room. I so humble, and John, I so humble, this and that and that and that.
Facts.
But humble where? Nothing else in a lot of people's lives reflects that humbleness. And then, like, honestly, when I was growing up, I was not a very outspoken child.
Right.
And like now I notice, I still ain't the loudest in the room, but by any means. But like certain attitudes I have, like I just gotta check myself, bro, because I just be so arrogant sometimes.
That's good.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you used to be feeling yourself sometimes, low-key.
Facts.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah,
Sometimes, because when you feeling yourself, nobody can take that phone on your hand.
Wow.
When you take a picture. Like, you serious? Like, nobody.
That's right.
I
Drop
mean,
the facts.
Oh, look up.
Drop the facts.
no, because
My face dropped on the floor. You see it? I gotta pick it up.
all of us have our times.
We
Like,
being
and
hot.
I don't.
I'm
I
I'm
don't.
trying to tell Lex that it's good that he's having judgment and
That you self-aware
yeah,
and
like-
that you
like judgment.
You. I
in the
don't. I've
Bible,
never seen you
Proverbs-
have a full of yourself moment.
Proverbs. I mean, I could think of a time, but I would be lying if I say I've never had that before, because everybody has gone through that. Everybody has had that time where, oh, yeah, that's me, or all me, or this, that, and next, when they taken away from other people or taken away from God. But what I'm trying to say is, it's good because Proverbs talks about justice and judgment being more valuable or being more pleasing to God than basically sacrifice or already letting things happen and then trying to fix it in a sense. So that's good. It's great, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like even with certain attitudes I have, right? Like I try to think about what I do and I try to think about how I feeling about things. And I feel like, bro, like what make me feel so entitled to be upset about this? Why feeling like mad about this or sad about this,
Me
bro?
mad
Like
or
this,
sad about not getting
like
meals. Dude.
this is
Like,
not
girl.
even this right here. Like I'm making myself too big in the situation. Like I just
And it ain't even
just
about
gotta-
you for real.
It's not when you really think about it. Like when I really think about it, bro, like it ain't even about me. Like trying to take on what other people doing and just putting it on myself. You know, it's really being conceited. You know,
Yeah.
like it's really. You remember that?
I remember, bro, because I always tell Lex, I was like, bro, it's not that serious, bro. They probably not even thinking like that, bro. You just thinking about it like that because it's you. It's not always about you, bro.
You know how much times Ash just have to tell me that? He's be like, you need to stop thinking that way because nobody else is thinking
exactly,
like that.
bro. They
It's
never
only
said that.
you. Like, he used to have to say, I never said that. I didn't even mean that. Why are you taking that and putting it? I think it's because our minds can be so cynical, like very cynical. So we take things that like nobody even thinking about for real.
Literally.
I
I'm
make
saying.
like whole scenarios of
Movies,
things
whole books.
that
Like-
did not even happen, bro.
Like I have a random scenario example, right? Let's say you hit somebody's dog, right? Is that
Hold on, like in person or like with a car?
Wait.
Hold on.
Why is that a first response?
Wait,
No, no, the
in person or with a car?
No, bro, like with a car.
Why
Okay.
is that your first
Because
response?
I'm like, where is he going
So,
with
so
this?
yeah, so let's say you pull up on your friends, right? And while you're coming up, driving up, the car, let's say, runs off with a leash. You know, you hit them, dog done.
The car runs off the leash.
Yeah.
No animals
Dog.
were hurt
Dog.
in this scenario.
No one actually heard. But the dog is done for. So now you thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I hit the dog. You know, she/he is probably gonna hate me forever. And the funny tell you, it's okay. You know, they sad obviously because their dog just died. Rest in peace to the dog. It's not a real dog. but anyways. Right? So yeah, so you feel bad now. You going home thinking like, damn, she probably not gonna even want to talk to me.
Right?
anymore.
Like
Okay,
I just hit
that-
the dog.
That is me. Like I don't really want to intentionally hurt people, right? But like looking back, I feel bad that I made other people feel bad about me. If that makes sense.
You human, you can do that anyway.
But,
See,
I mean,
I'm gonna do that anyway because
when
that's
we
just
talk-
how I am.
When we talk about empathy, if you're intentionally trying to make people feel bad, then
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, but I don't think
That's-
that's never the
that's-
intention.
yeah.
I feel like we straying
never
way
it.
off
Yeah.
from being humble.
but
Anyway,
Hey,
once
yo.
again, if y'all hear or witness a random cut, that's because some things are being said that are for later videos, and Ashton is
It's
just a
just
little bit
jacking me up.
confused about what we're talking. Babe,
No,
the
just
video,
keep-
the video
just
is
keep
not
doing it.
over. The video is not over. What y'all going through today? It's been a long week. Anyway, one thing I realized about being humble is the fact that a lot of times we act as though we could do a lot of things or we could do everything without Jesus. We feel like we are so self-sufficient. We get into this self-sufficient space of, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And we don't consider God. We don't ask him how we feel about nothing. We just doing whatever we want to do. I've been in that space a lot. But one thing that we have to remember is from John 15:5. This is the NASB version. It says, I am the vine, you are the branches. The one who remains in me and I in him bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. And then we wonder why a lot of things in our lives don't work. They don't never hold up. We keep failing. And that's because we try to do so much stuff apart from Jesus. Because we feel like I got this. I could do this. I mean, it's good to have that healthy self-talk and that belief in yourself. But I think the issue is we forget where that strength comes from. We forget where that willingness to do comes from. And it comes from Jesus and the Holy Spirit and the God that's in us, giving us what we need to go out into the world and do what we need to do. But we be out here failing at everything or just thinking that what we doing working. But after a while, it just don't work no more or things just start to crumble. Why it's not working? And God looking down at us like, well, you didn't have me in none of this that you was doing.
None.
You was just doing it and expecting it to work. But nothing in this life will have life without God being attached to it. It just will never work. And that's why for us, one of our main goals for this podcast is to, even if the topic ain't directly about God, that we still allowing God to be the head of our podcast, to lead us in whatever direction we want to go in with it, or the direction he wants to go in with it. But most importantly, be humble. Be humble when we only have 10 subscribers, and still be humble if God blesses it to see 1 million. Still have the same heart and the mentality, and to remember that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. But I feel like society has lost sight of that heavily, because we swear we are so self-sufficient.
No, we is it. The thing I kind of see is like, humbleness ain't really is not rewarded, and
It ain't mainstream.
it's not like rewarded in our personal lives. Well, maybe in your personal life, but like
Not
to
even.
to see
Not
to
even.
Not even.
I think it is
You think
in our personal lives. Yeah.
you think each person, like, repeat yourself.
Oh, is it like in our personal lives?
Yeah.
Humbleness may be rewarded, but or like what we see,
Oh,
definitely not.
I thought you meant like people
Like,
resonate with themselves while they're alone in solitude, saying like, "Good job today. You were really humble." That's what I thought you were trying to say. Like,
I mean, yes. If you
do not think so.
if you
I do not. Think
yeah, bro. Listen.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, humble people, I don't think people that are naturally humble or have a heart to be humble or just have a heart for humility, I don't think that they look at it as, I want to be rewarded for this. More so, they look at it as, don't boast in me and what I do. Boast in God, because it's because of him that I am the way that I am. Like our pastor, for instance, there was a time where I was talking about how sweet he is and how kind he is, because our pastor really is a very selfless person, and he does a lot for the church and the people in his community. Like, that's just who he is. He's not disconnected. Like, he goes out and he does stuff.
But
Excuse me. But then one day he was walking by and I was like, oh my gosh, Pastor Guy, I was just singing your praises. And he was like, don't do that. It's not me. It's all him. And that's not because he's trying to get us to say, oh my God, he's so humble. But naturally, that's just who he is. He's become so selfless because of his relationship with God, that he don't, not saying that he don't want to hear it per se, but he doesn't need to hear that. He don't need you to tell him, you so humble, you're such a good person, because all of that he knows is only because of God.
so what I saying is, right, and that's the point that he at now, but that's not where you start at all.
Very true.
And a lot of people.
I would say most of us not even like that.
I mean, because
a lot
social,
of people are like
because social media, first of all, has caused a lot of us to be very vain. Vanity is a huge thing. And
I think
from
it's
you
more
posting
pride.
yourself 10 million times a day, we wouldn't see it as vanity, but it kind of is,
It is.
because you standing there just looking at yourself and recording yourself on multiple occasions all day. I thank God my desire for that has changed. Like, I ain't trying to toot my own horn. I just posted on Snapchat my face for the first time in probably like 2 weeks. And even on my Instagram, like, I haven't been using either of them as much or posting on either of them as much. But I don't have the desire to sit down with a filter on my face and record myself anymore. Like, I just don't. I don't have the desire to stand and look in the mirror as much anymore. But I feel like that's because God has been
maturity and you.
God has been
growing.
doing a lot to humble me, because even a lot of dreams that I've been having, God been revealing like, hey, miss, you're very boastful. Not in me. You just want to do things to show off. You don't got no humbleness. And being humble comes in your lifestyle. I feel like we in a culture where everybody just want to show off.
Yeah, and
That's just it. And
that's how it is.
they put God in it, but in reality, I don't think they want to give God props. I think it's more to give themselves props. I mean, you have people out there that share their testimonies because,
Yeah, I mean,
God
they get
love
asked-
them or whatever,
they
but
get asked for the testimony, so sure.
you got some people that just, don't be trying to,
If you guys see another random cut, it's just cause.
But what about you?
Now we
Trey?
back to it. Shoot, it's hard to say because when it comes to being humble, I mean, correct me if I like start going off path or something, but like I'm a very competitive person at things I think that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
So if I win, you gonna know that I'm feeling myself that I beat you at whatever it is.
That is a fact. That is
Know
a
what I mean?
fact.
Yeah,
I will
that's
let
not
you-
humble.
No, that's really how you.
Yeah, bro, I will let you know. I was like, yeah, get good, person, good boy. But yeah, so yeah, personally, I like to say I have some work to do when it comes to being humble. Like when it comes to just personal relationships, just me, being out. I would say I'm a humble person. I mean, like I don't post a lot on my social media, which just for the sake of, I guess, appearance. Like not for anything about myself. I guess I should post. Just for interaction and whatnot. But so yes, I feel like I'm at a good level, but I got work to do. I know other people got work to do because there are people
we all do.
exactly who like to, you said, to show themselves every day. Posting like a 10-piece story of them, maybe in like a slightly different setting, doing something slightly different. You ain't even know what they're doing. You just seeing them. They're the main focus. So everybody got their own stride. They'll get to a certain point where they, like you said, they're mature enough to know what they're supposed to be at.
I think one of the most simple like teachings and songs is that can relate to this is sing praises unto God. Sing praises. Like going past humility, we sing praises to what he makes. We sing praises to other people who God is working in, but we just exclude God. Like people sing praises to the pastor, to their pastors. Like, oh, pastor, you really speak to me today, this, that, and the next. Or oh, I was really feeling that from you, bro, or whatever. But it's not all coming from them. There's a source. They aren't the source.
They're the middleman.
Yeah.
The
And
median.
It's like this is me, God, right here. And we just getting stuff from, and we just be like, oh, thank you. But everything coming from here, Everything coming from here. But we just running circles around God and just forgetting him. But sing praises unto God, sing praises. Not sing praises unto pastor, sing praises, or sing praises unto food, sing praises unto other things. Like, no, that's not what it is. But we just forgetting the most basic and simplest teachings that we've been getting from primary school.
You can still get them just like a little bit of appreciation, though, right? Like like good job.
I mean,
pastor,
okay,
that's it. Simple.
yes, you can uplift people at the same time and not, I
Make it
guess,
about
boast them. Yeah, in a sense, like you could uplift them and say good job and stuff. Like you could still tell people that, but I mean, like, is it all coming from them? And you could also say God really was working through you on stuff like that. Like that's acknowledging him.
True.
But I'm not saying like every single time this is gonna be on your mind, but sometimes we just forget completely in its entirety about for God.
I'm reading this Bible challenge with the students at church. And we read Deuteronomy. I don't know how people pronounce it.
You can say do.
Deuteronomy. And it just came back to my mind, like when Ashton was speaking. But in Deuteronomy 8, verse 17 and 18, it says, he did all this so you would never say to yourself, I have achieved this wealth with my own strength and energy. Remember the Lord your God. He is the one who gives you power to be successful in order to fulfill the covenant he confirmed to your ancestors with an oath.
That's big time. That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Straight from the source.
Yep.
And I was just listening to Miles Monroe today, and people call God, or they relate to God as Abba, and Abba means source,
I heard
the
that.
source.
I thought Abba meant father.
Yeah, they relate to him as father too, but it literally means source, source.
Come and get it from the source.
Exactly,
I
like
mean-
the straight source.
If you think about it, yeah, I'm about to say it. You definitely do have to be humble if you really take note of what has happened in your life, because certain things that happen, bro, that you would say is pure luck, ain't no way that that's just luck, dog. Like, God definitely has His hand over your life in those instances.
And you know the Bible relate to people who are boastful and full with pride. They relate to them as fools.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the humble people who practice and put forth humility and try to live their lives as righteous as possible with righteousness, they are filled with wisdom.
The thing is, in my opinion, is like as you both were saying, is with the acknowledgement that as you progress in life, it's like the further away or the higher we climb, like the further away we are from the root. Like we forget that the tree have roots. Like we growing, and we was small, and then we start getting bigger, and we get our branches and our leaves, and we got a big trunk now. It's like, well, I don't need the bottom half of the tree. Look how big it is at the top. Like you forget the roots, you forget the acknowledgement that keeps you grounded.
Foundation.
Being humble keeps you connected to the roots, keeps you connected to the source. When you forget that, I mean, anything could happen. And then like when you become so self-centered, like you become vulnerable, because when you short-sighted, like you can't see the whole picture. When you're not looking holistically, you missing some things. There's some solutions and some options available to you. With some stress you don't have to deal with, but you can't see that this ain't even your issue. You don't see that there's another way around this, because it's just like me. You can't relax and just make yourself a little bit smaller in your mind, bro. Like just calm down the ego for a second.
And every successful person doesn't necessarily practice being boastful or full of pride.
No.
But there is a high amount of people who do, though.
I mean, it's like a natural thing, because we want to feel like we achieve something. We want to achieve something. We get ahead, and it's like, wow, look at what I did. But then, look at what you did, but also look at
What God allowed you to do.
What He helped you to do, how we empower you, to do that thing.
Agreed. It's a verse in Proverbs 30 that stood out to me, because it kind of embodied, like, I guess, humbleness in a sense to me. So it says in Proverbs 30 verses 8 and 9. Well, verse 7 to 9, it says, "O God, I beg 2 favors from you. Let me have them before I die. First, help me never to tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name." When I read that spoke volumes, because it's like the writer here is saying, don't give me too much and don't give me too little. Give me just enough so that I could always remember where this is coming from. And sometimes when we feel like we don't have enough, because most of the time we do have enough. We have more than enough.
Just don't feel like
But
it.
based on this Miles Monroe sermon me and Ashton just listened to, we are very bad managers with what God has given us already. So 9 times out of 10, we have enough. But when we feel like we don't have enough, we don't take the time to remember all the things that God has blessed us with already. When we have too much, sometimes we tend to forget that it was because of God that we obtained the amount that we have. And then we just think that it was all because of us and our hard work, forgetting that God was the one that had to give us that breath of life that day to even accomplish one thing. So it's just like, it kind of reminds me how the story where the rich man was little sad when Jesus was like, you want to go to heaven? Give up all your stuff. And he was just like,
All of this
Dread,
stuff.
never mind. It
And some people think they could buy their way into heaven too.
You can't
That's it,
buy you can't pay for that. There's nothing you could do to pay for that. But for me, it's just like, because a lot of the times we're not connected to God the way that we should be, we tend to take a lot of stuff for granted. So we just feel like, oh, wow, another day to get up and go to work. I mean, yeah, you have a life. You have a job that a lot of people in the world do not have. You have a bed that you just slept in that a lot of people, you were warm. You had a blanket and a pillow. Like, we take so much for granted and forget that it's because of God that we were blessed enough to be able to have these things. We were blessed enough to be able to get an education, blessed enough to get educations that was able to take us to get degrees, blessed enough to be smart enough to have a resume, to get a job, to work, to make money. Everybody is not able to afford these things. Like, there are so many people in the
All
world
given the opportunity.
that wish they could complain about the stuff we complain about. But because we don't make the most out of what we are given, we tend to complain about everything because we're selfish and it's all about us.
And greedy as well.
So, very greedy. So instead of saying, God, I thank you, we say, God, I thank you, even though I don't have X, Y, Z, you were still good. No.
Or a lot of butts.
Or you are good anyway. No, God is good.
All kind of disclaimers.
God is good.
And caveats.
Period. I may not have what I want to have. No. If you believe in God, you have just enough.
We say we only talk to God and worship God for His deeds and what He could do for us.
We sound like sirens. One. That's it. Our conversations with God is be so one-sided. Because, you want to talk and tell Him what you want. But what about what God wants?
And then if you think about it, for those of us when we're focusing on thanking God for what we have, in the back of your mind, don't you kind of think it's like, let me thank Him for what I get so that He could bless me with more?
Yeah, the thing is, we do a lot in hopes of receiving.
Yep.
Right back to God being the vending machine, waiting to see what you got for me
so
today.
if
God.
I go on this fast, right, I can get a new car, right? Yeah, because I need a new car, right? It don't work. I mean, fasting does bring about a lot of answers. It brings about a lot of closeness to God. But we shouldn't serve God because of
It have to
things.
be intentional though.
But we shouldn't serve God or pray to God or do anything with God
you shouldn't be crossing
for
your
things.
fingers. You shouldn't be crossing your fingers to just
We
be a
should do it
millionaire
because-
overnight or after the fast.
Because we ain't nothing without Him. That's just, I can't
Okay.
imagine where I would be without Him.
So, my question. So, people might be trying to figure out what is humbleness. So, from our conversation, would you say that humbleness is remembering God, like where you get your stuff from?
I would say that's part of it.
Or
I
like,
get to-
is it, because
Remembering the source completely.
it might be like, some people might be like, oh, humbleness is maybe just like quieting down your ego. But,
That too.
you could just quiet down your ego. But I think
Well, dictionary.
the essence of what we kind of been, let's pull out the,
Yeah, you're right.
Let's
the
get our
dictionary.
dictionary out and see.
But from the conversation and context, I think, for people listening who wondering, it might be like how we define humbleness as remembering God as the source of all our stuff. I think that is the approach we
So
trying to have.
That's humility.
That's what I was
in
gonna
general.
say. So if you boil it
That's
down,
humility in general.
that's like saying it's contentment and appreciation.
I see humility. H-U-M. Humble.
Wumbo.
Not proud or haughty. Not pretentious. And then humility is down, humble quality or state.
Great.
So
Wonderful.
for me, I would definitely say that's the definition. I think being humble is remembering the sacrifice and the promise in and of itself, that you would not be here or be able to do anything if Jesus didn't die for you. If he didn't, I think we don't understand how humble Jesus had to be to do what he did, because he was on his throne big chilling. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit was just big vibing. You know what I'm saying? And he had to get off his throne because his daddy tell him to go do something. He had to step down off that throne and come through a woman that he helped create in the form of a child. He, Jesus, one of the most powerful beings, had to need a woman that he helped create. Because when he was baby, he couldn't feed himself. He couldn't do nothing for himself. He had to depend on somebody. And he do all of this just to die. Because he knew he had to. Growing up all his life, he knew that this was his perfect purpose.
You see how a verse you read about asking God for just enough so he could remember where it came from? That gave me a like a comparison to the prodigal son. The prodigal son. You can look at it like the prodigal son, or just like an everyday parent, a normal parent. So the prodigal son already had all of his riches, spent it all. But if you give like a child, let's say, $100 a week or $1,000 a month or something like that, they would come back because they will know, like, okay, when I'm running out, I know where to get this from because my parents are giving me this
What
allowance.
I need, yeah.
But imagine if you give your child their entire inheritance, $1 million
Offer it.
on a drop,
Yeah.
or you give them like $100K every year at like age 8.
And they
Yeah.
just blow that.
Yeah, if your child
not
has
even
an
that.
inheritance
You will
of $1
not see
million
that.
and they're 21, I wouldn't even say 21, like young, early 20s to teens, your child would probably be dead in like a month.
Wow.
That is dark, but that's the truth.
Or at least remove from you.
What I'm trying to say is like they would like if you distribute it properly, like giving the child enough, they would remember where they get it from. And that's like saying with God, like with that verse you read,
when God
asking
gives
for
us
exactly
enough so we could know who to depend on.
Yeah, you shouldn't be asking God, I'm broke today, so I need $1 million tomorrow.
First
Why
of all,
would he give you that?
He just gave you $10 yesterday.
You're gonna die like 5 days after that. Once you already shut up that $1 million, you either gonna stress yourself to death, or you'll get in the wrong brothers and boast your money because it already showing you being boastful and proud. It's already an issue for all of us. So you're gonna be, like I said, the Bible quotes proud
Foolish.
people and as fools.
Foolish.
So you're gonna show your money that you have $1 million.
Foolish like Ashanti.
And there's gonna be a Judas
Nobody
or a
get that.
Cain
Nobody get that.
right next to you who's gonna kill
I
you.
didn't. I'm sorry.
Hey. but no, for real, like y'all get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. It's just asking God to put us in positions that make sure we remain humble and we remember where everything. It's like the song says, all of my help comes from the Lord. Like all of it, every single thing, everything you do, every limb, everything. And a lot of us are completely healthy beings. And we complain more than people who have literal disorders, complain more than people who have disabilities, who don't got no legs, no arms, no nothing. They just ain't got nothing. And we just out here complaining every single day like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I get to. First of all, people wish they had your luxury right now. They wish they had what you had, but they don't. And that's just... And it should make you feel better about your predicament. But a lot of times, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't at all.
No.
It don't.
Okay.
That's why you need to get help
Like
from an
children
external
No,
source
wait.
sometimes.
Hold on. I cannot be feeling good just because someone else is doing worse than me. I'm sorry. That my mind just don't. I know that's not what you mean,
Yeah.
but in my mind it's like I can't. That can't be the saving grace for my complaint. I should stop complaining because, wow, I should be I should be happier because someone else have it worse.
No, it's not because someone else have it worse. You should be happier because you need to realize the worth of what you have. And the only reason you're not
Yes.
happy
Okay,
is because you don't know its worth. So
But
you need to be reminded that people don't
okay,
have that.
okay. You should be happy knowing your worth, but the fact that like other people don't is like you should be happier because other people kind of have less. I don't want to think about it
Like that.
like that. Yes.
Makes sense.
So I kind of just want to say like, you know, as we were saying earlier with, you know, like you got to recognize what you have, you know, because that's valuable and all that good stuff.
Right.
But, you know, your humbleness is why I was trying to say earlier, like the humbleness isn't necessarily just quieting down your ego. Like listening, like from what we've been saying, is like just remembering God and the importance of that source. And when you move away from that, that's when you place the importance and the achievement and the progress solely on you. And I think that's really the difference. I mean, from what we've been talking about, is like being humble isn't just, oh yeah, you know, I'm not gonna say anything. Being humble is like, even though I might not say anything, I remember and acknowledge that God is the source of this.
Right.
Or, you know, and that right there would I would say qualifies as humbleness. And when you place the importance on just me, or you forget what that source is, I think that's the boastfulness and the pride and the conceitedness and the arrogance and all that.
Okay, I got a question though. Do you think it's that easy to, you know, like become humble? Like just change the way of thinking? Like, you know, okay, I'm gonna actively think this or that way, so that way I could be more humble.
It depends how you were raised.
Do not conform to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Okay.
That's your answer. The closer you get to God, the more transformed you as a person, your mindset, your spirit. Those things take time, but it's definitely possible. If your focus is on God, then all these things will find their place and they will come into alignment in the space that they need to be in.
To also answer you, Trey, hold on, ask that question again.
I was saying like for somebody who, let's say, you know, thinks that they're super boastful and they
Okay.
want to become more humble, is it just a matter of actively trying to change the way you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, just I forget what I was gonna say. You asked the question kind of different. I lost the thought. Yeah.
My bad, G. So how do you usually close? It's just a closing. But so yeah, everybody, thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is the MTC crew about to sign out for the however much umpteenth time,
Yeah, I don't know what episode number this is.
and we gonna keep doing it till we stop doing it. Let's go. We still doing this, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
You
change
know,
it.
can we stick with that? We gonna keep doing it till we stop doing it. Okay, man. I'll
Okay.
keep that for myself.
MTC on 3. 1, 2, 3.
MTC.
Bye, y'all.